All right, today we're going to be servicing a Weil Mclain Ultra boiler, and I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Now, if you don't feel like doing the work, skip to the end of the video where I show you how to shut the reminder off, because that's going to be the fastest way to get the job done. So we're going to start by taking the cover off of this thing. It's got two little screws on the bottom. You got to take them all the way out. And next, we're going to go and unplug all of the electrical. We're going to unplug the igniter. We're going to take the screw off of the ground. We're going to take the gas valve wires off and the fan wires off. We're also going to pull that flue sensor out of there, and we're just going to tuck everything up behind. The ground wire on the igniter is an Allen key. The size that you're going to use is the one that fits. Next, we're going to disconnect this gas flex here down at the bottom. Pull the silencer off the fan and make it sound like that's what I intended to do. It actually just fell off. Now we're going to loosen all the bolts around the heat exchanger. It's an 11mm socket. Once you get it loose, you can just take them off by hand, though. You're going to notice with systems like this that they give you a bunch of weird sizes and different tools to try to deter the average person from taking it apart. As a professional, I also feel deterred by it. And offended. Who are these engineers to tell a man in the United States of America that he can't work on his own boiler and blow up his own house? It's unconstitutional. It's private property, nerd. So next, we're just going to go right inside of here. I use a little kitchen brush, clean this off a little bit. And Weil Mclain makes a tool for going inside of this heat exchanger. I'm just showing you how to do it. You're going to go inside straight and then 45-degree angles from top to bottom. This one being less than 5 years old, it says that it does not require tooling, so I'm only going to use water to clean it. The reason that they don't want you to use the tool is because there's like a coating on the aluminum that is supposed to protect it from aluminum oxide from forming, and apparently that coating is good for 5 years. So basically what they're telling you with that is that you got a 5-year heat exchanger. You want to make sure that you clean everything out of the bottom of the heat exchanger here, because if you don't, the condensate will sit there and it will rot out through the bottom of the heat exchanger and it will leak. This is actually the second one of these boilers that this guy has, and that's what happened to the first one. So anyway, now we're going to work on the burner assembly. So this is the burner assembly. I'm going to be taking off these 3 retaining clips. They're 7mm. The instructions say to use an open-ended wrench. I'm going to use a socket. It might be easier to use a wobble socket if you have one handy, but I have 2 handies, so I'm going to use this one. Once you get the 3 screws out from here, the burner is just going to come right off. If the burner is damaged in any way, then it needs to be replaced. If you're looking at this one and the one that you have looks just like this, you're probably good. I'm going to set this aside because I'm going to blow it out with nitrogen. If you don't have any nitrogen, you could just blow on it like that should probably work. I'm taking the igniter out now. I could have did that earlier in the process. You see I pulled the refractory and the door gasket off. There's a kit that you buy with this, and it's listed in the manual which kit you need to buy. So I'm putting a new refractory in there, and I'm going to put the new retaining clips that came with the kit also in there, and I'm going to tighten them down. You're supposed to bend the tabs up just in case somebody decides to go into your boiler when it's running and try to loosen the screws. I mean, it's unlikely, but it could happen. It happened enough times that they must have made it a part of the instructions. So anyway, you're going to put this door gasket on. It's got the groovy side out. Don't forget to let your groovy side out. And when you put the gasket in, it's going to seem like there's extra, and then after you fiddle with it for a little while, it's just going to magically be the right size. There's 2 parts that go in with the igniter. It's got a little gasket goes on the front, and then we're going to put 1 screw in. The other one is going to be that ground wire from before. Next, we're going to put this back on. There is a tightening pattern to put the bolts back on for the heat exchanger. Kind of like changing a tire. You can't just go around in a circle. And if you just sort of do it like you're changing a tire, you're probably not going to have any problems at all. Now we're going to put all our plugs back in. We're going to put our flue sensor back in. There was a screw that came off the gas valve. Don't forget that screw. And don't forget to put this black silencer piece on either. And the last thing we're going to do to the boiler here is we're going to clean out the condensate. I was just spraying a bunch of water in there. There's a ton of gunk inside of it. Everything that I cleaned out of the heat exchanger wound up inside this trap. And it's easier if you have a bucket nearby instead of walking through the whole house to dump it. But anyway, once you got it cleaned out, you got to put water back inside of it. You don't want to be blowing flue gas through the condensate drain when you turn the thing on. And then you're just going to tighten it back on in place. And after we get this boiler fired up, I'm going to be adding an inhibitor. I use the Sentinel X100. Basically, you just hook it up to a boiler drain, open up the boiler drain, and then the can is just going to click in. And when it clicks in, it's going to release the pressure. In this case, it went all over my face and on the floor. So with that being said, if these shoes don't last forever, I'm never going to trust this product again. But anyway, here's the part that you've been waiting for. We're going to reset the reminder. So we're going to hit the up and down arrows at the same time. It's going to take a second to get through, but once it does, we're going to go down to maintenance info. We're going to reset the reminder. And then after that, we're going to be back to the blue screen so they can stop calling you. All right.